Hello there and welcome once again to The Verdict. I'm Mick Cornett along with Kent Meyers. We're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues, and we have a brand new place.
Yes, we're new here.
I just looked around, I didn't recognize it.
We're here every week, but this is the first time we've been here.
We are on the campus at Oklahoma Christian University, and that kind of leads us to our first guest.
Yes, indeed. We are really pleased today to have as our first guest for our first show President John diStiguer, the president of Oklahoma Christian University, and you'll see him in a few minutes. But John has a wonderful story to tell about this fine institution, and we want this to be beneficial to you, our viewers, and of course beneficial to the university as well. We're really excited about being here.
It certainly is good, and we'll have that show right after this break.
I went to college at the University of San Diego. I went to medical school at Yale School of Medicine. I did my internship at Harvard and then my residency at Columbia in New York City. My name is Whitney Tolpenrud. I'm a dermatologist and I am Chickasaw. I always knew that somehow I would figure out a way to give back to my tribe, to say thank you. So I've been coming to the hospital now for about a year. I come for 2 days consecutively every other month. I can't describe to you the level of satisfaction and humility that it's been able to provide to my life. And that is just so energizing and reminds me why I went into this to begin with.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
When I came to work for the ODVA, I started realizing the opportunity to take care of veterans. It's a powerful thing when you realize that you are taking care of people that made history.
Working here is a calling. It's really, really important that they don't just come here to exist. We want to give them meaning to their lives. We try to make life happy and meaningful and fulfilled for our veterans.
Set of The Verdict, Mick Cornett with Kent Meyers. Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Well, as we talked about in the opening segment, our first guest is President John diStiguer, president of Oklahoma Christian University. John did his undergraduate work at Northeastern A&M in Tahlequah, did his law work, he's a lawyer, at Pepperdine University. He is a native of Tahlequah. He has been serving as the 7th president of Oklahoma Christian since 2002, and we're really pleased for a couple of reasons. One, that they have been so kind as to come and let us do our taping from their fine facility, but also he'd be our first guest from our new home. John, welcome. Really glad to have you.
Well, Kent and Mick, I am honored to be on the show, but we're even more honored that you all are here on the campus. We're thrilled that The Verdict has come, what we hope is, home here to Oklahoma Christian. So, welcome.
Well, we've been doing this show a long time, and it really feels good to be on the campus here. We've been welcomed everywhere we've been, but every bit of the courtesies that you all have extended us, we very much appreciate.
Well, thank you. Again, it's an honor to have you all here on campus.
Let's take the overview. Tell us about Oklahoma Christian.
Sure. Oklahoma Christian began in 1950. We actually began in Bartlesville, and in 1958 moved to the hinterlands of far Oklahoma City, where we are today. Yeah. In fact, the city leaders annexed property so Oklahoma Christian would come in and be a part of the Oklahoma City area. So while we're surrounded on 3 sides by Edmond, we really have an Oklahoma City address. And the institution, I'm sure, was a very difficult decision to move from Bartlesville here to Oklahoma City in 1958, but it's been the best decision that the school leaders ever could have made for us today.
Now, we know from a lot of facts, but we know that you're a religious-oriented organization.
Yes, sir.
How did your background growing up and your education and your experiences lead you to heading up a religious-oriented university?
Kent, my religious background is Church of Christ. My family was Church of Christ. I was raised going 3 times a week to church there in Tahlequah and other places that we had lived. Oklahoma Christian was founded by members of the Churches of Christ back in 1950. In fact, we were actually founded and hired a president in 1948, but did not begin classes until 1950. Now, we're not the first Church of Christ college or university in the state. Cornett actually was home to a previous Church of Christ university that actually went away in World War I. Being a member of the Churches of Christ for so long, I became a lawyer, was practicing down in Dallas, and then returned to Tahlequah to work in higher ed at my alma mater, Northeastern, as you mentioned, and then just had the opportunity to come here to OC. Darla and I loved raising our kids in a college town. They loved being a part of a college, and when I had the opportunity to come to a Christian college, it was like, wow, can it get any better than that? And it's really been wonderful.
Yeah, you practice at Haynes and Boone, I think.
That's right. That's right.
It's a wonderful firm.
It's a great firm. Did that for 4 years. Enjoyed doing it. I'm looking at all these law books behind you, but I'm kind of glad I'm not cracking those books anymore.
Well, tell us about your student body.
We have a great student body. We have 2,100 students altogether this fall. That's about 1,750 undergrads, about 350 graduate students. Our undergrads come from all over. Now, 45% are Okies. Another quarter, about 25%, come from the state of Texas. But then the other 30% comes from around the country and around the world. About half of our students come out of Churches of Christ, but the other half are a variety of religious backgrounds. 75% of our undergraduates live on campus. So while we're not a big university, we've got a big on-campus presence, and so it really
You must
adds.
have built a really good network amongst the Church of Christ throughout the country to get that large of a student body coming from across the country to here.
We do have a good network. It's Churches of Christ. It's really a special body of believers, and we want as many Church of Christ kids, but we want as many kids from other faiths here as possible.
And you have graduate students?
We do. We have a really strong MBA program, Masters of Science in Engineering. We have some theology master's programs. Really, really proud of what we have. So we have a lot of adult learners that are a part of our institution as well.
Do you have any PhD programs?
We do not have any PhD programs. We top out at the master's level at this point.
When you talk about recruiting students, you know, we hear so much about immigration, and universities continually communicate to me that they're having more and more trouble getting students internationally to come. There's an economic development impact of that, but certainly it's an excellent way for you to grow your admissions. Have you seen a decline in the last few years?
We have seen a decline. We've seen a decline really across the board among our international students. We still have students that come from all over the world, but it's not as easy for them to come in and study. And what we're also finding is, I think, if you take a look at the numbers, actually Canada right now is a really preferred place for international students to go and study, as opposed to the United States. Now, we still have lots of students here, especially on the two coasts, but Middle America is having more difficulty attracting international students.
What are international students looking for? Why would they choose, first of all, to leave their native country, and why would they be attracted to a school like this?
Right. You know, the United States of America continues to be kind of the beacon of hope. I mean, it is the place where people want to come, and for very, very good reason. The international students that do come to the United States and study, I mean, they are serious students. They're high-quality students. They work hard. We've seen that with our students from all across the globe. We've had a really strong relationship with the nation of Rwanda now for about 15 years. My predecessor, Mike O'Neill, helped establish that in a very special way. We have lots of students, though, from Latin and South America, from China and Asia, and they are good and serious students.
Well, we're pleased that you make your second visit to the Verdict. You were with us 7 or 8 years ago, I think.
I was, and I'm grateful that you're having me back.
Well, we're grateful that you're here. Talk a little bit about your faculty. How is it made up? Where are the stars?
Right. Oh, man.
All over the place.
This might take the rest of the show, or maybe a few more episodes. We have just over 100 full-time faculty here at Oklahoma Christian. We have 5 colleges. And whether it's the traditional liberal arts, where we have great professors in history and in communications and in English, or it's the professional areas like engineering or nursing or med school, gaming and animation, we've got stars across the board. A lot of our faculty have actually been out in the workplace and have returned after getting experience, especially in the engineering and in some of the healthcare fields as well. I think the thing about our faculty that is so impressive to me, not only do they know their subject matters, and not only are they great teachers in the classroom, but they're really involved with our students. And so the new cafeteria that we just opened up, the branch, we literally opened it up a month ago. I walk in there and I see students having a great time, and I see interspersed among them our faculty. So our faculty both teach and mentor, and that's something we take for granted, but it doesn't happen everywhere.
Do you have adjunct faculty?
We do have some adjunct faculty as well. Adjuncts actually bring something special to the table, because more often than not, they are in the workplace and they are doing that particular job or in that particular field, and are able to bring some of those practical aspects of what's happening right now to the students, and we find that very valuable. Let
me tell a quick anecdote. It's a recent story when you start off 35 years ago, but I'm starting off this story. 35 years ago, I was doing television sports at Channel 5, as some people might remember, and I came out to do a story on the women's basketball team at Oklahoma Christian. And they were not only nationally ranked, but their team grade point average was something like 3.8, 3.9 as a team. Just a remarkable story. And so the coach brought out his captain. It was a young woman named Sherry Bupka, who we now know as Sherry Cole, as the head basketball coach at the University of Oklahoma. And I think she's just an example of the character of the people that you've produced through the years, so congratulations on that.
Well, Mick, thank you very much. We're so proud of Sherry. Coach Cole, of course, just got her 500th win, and that's a thrill. I love what she says about her education at OC. She says OC is a place that doesn't give you your education; you actually earn your education here, and that's great.
Yeah, and you would expect nothing short of her.
That's right. That's right.
She's going to earn whatever she has gotten in life. We're going to be back with more. President diStiguer is with us. We're here on the campus of Oklahoma Christian University, starting a new era on The Verdict. Stay with us.
OU Law has a history and heritage that are unparalleled. At the University of Oklahoma College of Law, we empower our students to pursue the career of their dreams. We have the highest U.S. News ranking ever achieved by an Oklahoma law school. We are the first law school in the country to launch a college-wide digital initiative, and this year, our competition teams rank number 2 in the nation. OU Law, generations of excellence, limitless possibilities.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Meyers and our guest, President John diStiguer of Oklahoma Christian University.
John, one thing that both our producer and my wife Amanda and I have noticed, and Mick has commented on it as well, is what a friendly atmosphere there is here. I mean, we came in as virtual strangers and still just getting acquainted, but everybody's treating us with such kindness and friendly and a genuine friendliness, and I bet that atmosphere isn't just for us.
I can't tell you how much I love hearing that. You know, Oklahomans are friendly people, and I think folks in my faith fellowship, Churches of Christ, are particularly friendly people as well. But I really think this Oklahoma Christian community takes it to a different level, and it's very genuine. And so I love that you all feel that warmth and that hospitality. Frankly, I want everybody who comes to our campus to feel that as well.
The Church of Christ has a worship house facility just adjacent to your campus, I think. How much interchange is there? I bet there's quite a bit.
Quite a bit. The Memorial Road Church of Christ is right on the corner of our campus, off campus. A lot of our students attend there, a lot of our faculty and staff attend there, but as I've mentioned before, they attend a number of places in this area. But it's really great to have that congregation real close to campus.
You have a reputation of keeping up with the changes in technology here, not only from an academic standpoint, but just the investments that you've made on campus. That had to be purposeful.
It has been. You know, Oklahoma Christian was the first wireless campus in the state of Oklahoma. Now, of course, that's not an unusual thing today, but we employ technology in a lot of different ways. So here at OC, we have daily chapel for our students. They have different options, but we have daily chapel. And we actually have an app on our smartphones that keep track of what events are coming up, what things that we can attend and be a part of, an opportunity to journal, keeps attendance and stuff like that. So yeah, so technology is a big deal. And of course, that's the world that we live in. So not only is it things like that, but it's also teaching. I mean, no longer do you really have 100% lectures anymore in a classroom.
I keep hearing that, you know, in the future we won't really have textbooks. It'll all be on, you know, some sort of notebook or laptop. How close are we to that day?
Yeah, well, we're getting closer and closer, and in fact, open source textbooks and information, it's actually very good for the students because it's lowering the cost for them, and so that's something that we really want to have happen more and more. Education is not inexpensive. It's really worth the investment. But when you can find resources that are really good and are less expensive, we need to share those with the students.
Does the university offer any online education?
We do. We have online education both on the graduate level and on the undergraduate level. So on the graduate level, our MBA program, you can actually do that online. Our Masters of Science in Engineering has online opportunities as well. Undergrad-wise, we really believe that the immersion, living on a campus and being part of a residential campus is really, really important because you learn in the classroom and in the lab, but also in the dorms and in the cafeteria and in chapel. But you can take courses online as well. That really fits well with what the students need.
We've talked a lot about the academics. What about the extracurricular activities, including the athletics?
Right. Boy, we are a full-service place. We are an NCAA Division II school. We've just this year gone into the Lone Star Conference, the largest conference among Division II schools in the nation. There are about 18 or 19 universities in that. We compete in basketball, men's and women's, baseball, softball, track and field, soccer, golf. We're great competitors in golf. We've also begun swim in the last couple of years, and that's a big deal. Josh Davis, Olympian, 5-time medalist in the Olympics, is our coach. We've begun bowling. We're rolling out esports as well. A number of schools are doing that. So you have opportunities to participate and go see sports a lot here on this campus.
Well, yeah, I don't go to a single campus and they don't talk about esports and how it's almost necessary to recruit students, first of all, but it also has an academic edge to it because of the computer sciences in that element.
We have, that's exactly right, Mick. So you're doing a number of things together in tandem when you have an esports emphasis or program. We have a great gaming and animation program. It's the only real gaming and animation program in this area that students have the opportunity to participate in. And it's not just about learning how to create computer games, because all of this technology is being used in all sorts of industries and professions, just all around our economy. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, hard to find an employer who isn't looking for programmers and people with those skills.
That's right.
I noticed that you have a series of speakers called History Speaks.
Right.
And you had one recently, I guess, one of the Central Park Five.
Yes, sir.
A fellow that spent some time in prison wrongfully. And tell us about that program.
You know, Mick asked about other extracurricular things going on here. One of the most special things that happens here are the speakers that we're able to bring in. I mean, our students are getting a great experience with our professors and in this atmosphere here, but there are mountaintop experiences that occur on a regular basis with the speakers we bring in. History Speaks is probably at the forefront of our important speaker series. So last night, Raymond Santana, member of the Central Park Five, now the exonerated Five, was here on campus. And just a powerful, powerful story. And he is the 7th annual speaker in our History Speaks, and he's come after we've had 2 of the Little Rock 9, after we've had Fred Gray and Claudette Colvin, who actually was Rosa Parks 9 months before Rosa Parks was. She didn't move back on a city bus and was arrested for that. John Carlos and Tommy Smith, the Olympians from 1968, were here. Wheeler Parker Jr., who was cousin of Emmett Till, was here. Diane Nash, the architect of the Freedom Rides. And then last year, Andrew Ambassador Young. But we also had Brian Stevenson here a year ago, author of Just Mercy, and that movie has just come out. And just a real powerful message. Our history is very important to us, and we want to learn from that history, and we want to be a place that celebrates justice and celebrates important and timeless things. And that's a part of the welcome that you have felt. We want people to feel warmly welcomed here at the university.
We hear much about Oklahoma's shortcomings in K through 12 education. What's your take on the ability of high school graduates to compete in the classroom once they get on campus?
Boy, that's a really important and complex question. I do think that students today, by and large, it is harder in some ways. A lot of students in general have greater obstacles that they're having to overcome, whether it's in their personal life or emotionally or even in some areas of preparation. What we find here at Oklahoma Christian is students that even might not be as equipped as we hope they would be, they can find a supportive environment and help in our Student Success Center or with a professor that will sit down with them. And what we have found is that there is nobody that is not capable of doing well. Now the question is, will the students exercise the grit? Because the experience here, it's a robust experience. It is not an easy education, but it's an education that's really worth it.
Well, I noticed on some information I was reading off your website that you guys have an interest in the census. What's that about?
Boy, I hope that all Oklahomans have an interest in the census. This is a pretty big deal. Filling out the census and being a part of that every 10-year program really is so important for the state because it means a lot of federal support and federal attention. And so we really want our students, as well as our alums and everybody else around, to make sure they're an active part of the census.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Our time went quickly.
Well, Mick and Kent, thank you for letting me come on the show, and thanks for being on the campus of Oklahoma Christian.
President John diStiguer of Oklahoma Christian. Kent and I'll have a final word when we get back.
It used to be okay in hospitals. It used to be okay in movie theaters. It was okay in classrooms, restaurants, and airplanes. But thanks to a greater understanding of the dangers, that's not okay anymore. So now that we know secondhand smoke causes lifelong health problems, why is it still okay to smoke with children in the car? Bottom line, it's not okay. Let's get serious about protecting kids. Join the fight at stopswithme.com.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
I really think people are so unaware of the number of kids waiting just in Oklahoma. And I think if more people knew that those children were out there waiting, I think that just by the way we live our lives and the people we talk to, that maybe we can help encourage adoption from Oklahoma.
You will always be Mom and Dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Our guest today was President John diStiguer of Oklahoma Christian.
Boy, do we feel welcome.
Yeah.
They have really rolled out the red carpet for us, and it's a beautiful, beautiful facility over and above the very, very nice set we've been graced with. So
and you can see why the university is doing so well under his leadership.
Indeed. That is evident from just listening to him.
President diStiguer and the folks here at Oklahoma Christian have a website. We'll invite you to visit that site. It is www.oc.edu. That's oc.edu. And we have a website. We'd love for you to log on to our website and tell us about a guest you'd like to see on a future show or a topic you'd like to see us discuss. Our website is theverdict.tv, theverdict.tv. That's going to do it for this week's show. I hope you'll enjoy the shows we have coming up. We have a number of fine guests lined up for you, and we think you're going to enjoy continuing to watch The Verdict. And you can also find us online. If you go to YouTube and know how to Google the right characters, you can watch all of the Verdict shows that we've been putting online, and it allows us to, our audience, to send those shows to other people around the country. So we hope you'll take advantage to that too. Kent, here's to a great run at Oklahoma Christian.
Absolutely. We're off and running. This is show 977, and we hope to do our 1000th show here.
And that'll be coming up later here in 2020. Hope your New Year's going well. For Kent Meyers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next week.